How much is your soul worth? How much would you sell your soul for? Some people say they wouldn't sell their soul for any amount of money. People like myself, oh, I'm not for sale. I wouldn't sell any aspect of myself for no amount of money. Damn sure wouldn't sell my tail or my butt for no amount of money.
I'm not telling anyone to become a 304, but it was one of the most life-changing things that I've ever done. Like, it showed me the true definition of play the game or get played. You know, I was so used to helping a man be a man that I didn't even realize that there's men in the world that will give me exactly what I want and more.
But in a way, every time I have to get up from here, from this chair, and go and clock in on somebody's clock, I'm selling my physical body for a service. Now I'll sit there and say, I've made videos in the past judging ladies for selling their tail for a lot more money than I'm selling my tail for. Of course, I don't have to bust it open for a real one, but essentially over time, I'm practically busting it open for a real one. Every time I have to suppress my real opinion about something at work, every time I have to serve somebody that I don't want to serve because they're rude or whatever. Now, I don't come across that too often, but every time I do, that is given an aspect of my way for whatever pennies that the customer decides to leave me and the little bit of money that the restaurant pays me. Selling aspects of my soul, because I can't say what I want to say to whoever I want to say. I can't talk to my boss any way I want to talk to. I can't talk to customers any way I want to talk to. I have to tuck it in. I have to code switch, as people say. We all do it. From the lowest service worker to the highest CEO. Everybody has to tap dance a little bit within the system. So you're selling an aspect of yourself, you're selling an aspect of your autonomy, you're selling an aspect of your soul in order to survive within the system. It's just the truth. It's the truth. And I have to look at this because a woman made a video on TikTok where she was like, look, young lady, you men get on here and y'all judge us for our spicy content on these apps. You know, y'all judge us for trying to make an extra living here, but then at the same time, y'all will get on here and complain about the economy. Y'all will sit there and talk about Trump. Y'all will sit here and talk about everything's going to hell, but this is a way for us to make some extra income. How can y'all be so judgmental and then at the same time sit there and talk about how bad the economy is? And to me, the young lady had a point, because I'm going to tell you something. If I had a 10-inch dick, I would probably be on OnlyFans stroking my shit for money too. So you see these ladies, right? They get on there and they ramp. Sometimes they'll start real life. They'll sell pictures of their feet, right? Oh, I'm gonna get on here, I'm gonna grease my feet, I'm gonna get a pedicure, and you know, they start getting subscribers, and then men want to see a little bit more. Let me see some leg, you know what I'm saying? Let me see some ass cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Now they still doing the feet pics, but they bending over in the feet pics, so you see some butt cheek, you know what I'm saying? Now they make it a little bit more money, and they like, hey, you know what? I can really make some cash in it. There's a lot of young ladies coming out of school that can't wait to turn 18 so they can get on OnlyFans and play with themselves, and we judge them, but obviously there's some money going into it. Who's paying for it? I think the same men that are judging these ladies, the same men that are jerking off to these ladies, the same men that are using these ladies' services, whether directly or indirectly, whether you're subscribing to them or whether you're getting free content and getting your rocks off, are judging and also paying for it. Because it ain't the women that's paying for it, it's got to be the man paying for it, right? And it makes me think about the dichotomy of all of the different contradictions within our society. You will see people look down on service workers, but use their service. Anytime there's a trash strike in any of these cities, you'll hear all these ladies say, I don't want to date a trash man or somebody that picks up garbage. But when there's a trash strike, everybody's like, oh, where's the trash man? We need the trash man. But he's like, people look at him like nothing. People look at the plumber like he's nothing. Plumbers and trash men make money, right? But it don't even matter because of status, right? Humans are so fucking funny in that aspect, right? But you need their services. You need those freaking people, right? As some people would even argue that in this time, there's a lot of men that need sex workers. There's a lot of men that need that fucking spank bank in order to get them from one place to another. We'll judge all these different services. I see people all the time judging people for, you're just a delivery driver, you're just an Uber driver. But at the same time, you're using their service. You're literally in the back of their car using their service. You're literally having this person deliver you food, but you're judging them because, oh, their status is not high, or because they don't make a certain amount of money. Because see, this is the thing about the poor. This is the thing about us common folk. We've been conditioned to believe that money equals freedom, right? And the less money you have in this world, the less freedom you have. And a lot of people are depressed because they don't have enough money, right? And psychologically, they tie money to freedom. If they don't have enough money, they don't have enough freedom. I have to work this hard to do this. And it's a conditioning. Only us poors went through public schools to get that conditioning. We go through public school from K to 12 to be in this box amongst our contemporaries, amongst our peers. I mean, follow me for a minute, okay? We're graded from grade to grade. Oh, A, B, C, like a fucking piece of meat. Then you get to the end of your cycle and shit, you gotta have it figured out. You've been playing for fucking 12 years. Now you gotta become an adult and you gotta get in the systems. What did you learn within this 12 years? And you become a good little cog in the machine, and you're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses to get more and more, to get more, not just money, but status, to show people, oh, I'm an adult, I'm doing this. Like, how many people would judge you if you're in your mid-20s and you never had a car? Trust me, I've been there. I'm in my 40s, never had a car. People judge me. Oh, you never had a car? You don't drive nowhere? No, I don't, right? When I was with my kid's mom, and I've explained this before, we would use Access. My kid's mom is blind, so we would use that service, or people would drive us everywhere. I just didn't have a car. Plus, I lived in LA County, and watching all of my freaking peers get pulled over and fucking manhandled by LAPD or getting tossed up for stupid shit, I didn't want to go through none of that. So, but still get judged because I didn't pick up that status symbol at a certain age, right?
You need to be driving around. You need to be paying a car note. You need to be paying somebody insurance.
It's conditioning. Let's say right now I live a very simple life, okay? So whatever extra money I have, that's why I'm able to buy this bullshit, right? I don't have a lot of overhead, okay? This place, I pay $1,300 a month here, right? And yes, I am a slave to this machine. Yes, I have to sell aspects of myself and of my soul to the machine in order to just live a very fucking basic, no vehicle having, barely eating throughout the week type life. Great, fantastic, but it's enough for me. I feel rich than a motherfucker. I feel like this is my real crown, you know what I'm saying? I feel good, okay? I feel like I have everything I materially want. But I can tell you, as somebody from this unique aspect, even though it's just my material stuff, it's mine. It's like I'm Smog sitting on his pile of gold, you know what I'm saying? This is mine. Even when you have everything that you physically want, that doesn't mean that there's going to be happiness that's just going to automatically come with it. You're still going to have to be on that grind. And even at this low level, where sometimes I do have a little bit of extra money to maybe buy some fucking toys or some bullshit, right? If I ascended to the next level and pay for more, let's say I got a bigger apartment, I wasn't staying in a weekly, I wasn't staying in no suite, right? And I wanted to pay for an apartment. I can afford an apartment out here. There's a lot of apartments that are $1,200, $1,400 a month, okay? But then I have to pay for lights and gas, and then I have to, and let's say I wanted to get a car, now I have to pay a fucking car note if I want a decent car. But even if I was making more money, let's say I started making more money through here, and then I start paying for those things, that's just another box I'm in. That's what our illusion of freedom. So even imagine if I started making millions of dollars. Now I have staff I have to pay for, I have to be responsible. You're always in a box, regardless of how much money you make. And you've been conditioned to believe that there's some once you get past the ceiling, there's some freedom. There's not. Even if you're the CEO of a company, you still have to show up. You still have to tap dance for somebody. You still have to sell aspects of your soul within the machine, no matter how much fucking money you make, in order to just be a part of it. Money is not freedom. It is an illusion. It just is. And they've trained us, and they've trained the young ladies to sell not just their souls, but their literal physical selves, their bodies, to people in order to get money. And when they do get the money, they say they get the Chanel bag, they say they get the trips, they say they get to go around the world after being used as a Dubai porta potty from some rich man or whatever, okay? There's still that void that's inside of them. They're still the same person when all of the makeup, when all of the glitz and glamour come off, when all of the facade come off, even for men, when everything comes off, you're still who you are, no matter how much money is in your fucking bank account. And if you haven't worked on your soul, you're fucked. You just are. And that's where we are. I believe this life, this reality is about how much of our soul can we retain by the time we get about this bitch. Yeah, you have to sell pieces of yourself. You have to code switch. You have to be that dancing monkey for some of these companies, or for your boss, or for society, in order to live and survive and do everything, right? But how much of yourself can you retain? How much are you willing to give up? How much of your principle, or like I say, your autonomy, your body, your butthole, are you willing to give up for the dollar amount, for that proposed freedom? Oh, I got a Lamborghini, but you got a fucking $1,200, fucking $2,000 car note that you have to keep up with. Insurance is through the roof because it's a supercar. Stuff that you don't even consider as a broke person, right? I have this, I have that, I got staff, I got cleaning, I got this big ass mansion. There's no way I can keep this fucking shit clean, and the landscaping and everything. I have to pay people to come and keep this shit up. Stuff I never had to even think about before that I have to think about now. Zoning laws, this, that, things that as a broke person you you don't think about because you've been shown that money will make you happy. No, it won't. And you're depressed because you don't have no money. You feel like once you get the money, you're going to be depressed. Rich people still commit. They still commit. They still commit. Rich people still go over the edge. Rich people still have the same fucking issues that the brokes do, that the poorest do. Only you, a lot of you still have your soul because you haven't sold that much of yourself. You've given a piece of yourself to clock in here, to clock in there, but they piss you off too bad or they go too much against you. Most of y'all will still quit. Most of y'all will find someplace else to go. It ain't that deep yet. You understand? You know, I know jobs are hard to find or whatever, but it ain't. We ain't to that point yet. So a lot of people still have a big part of they soul. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people sell their soul for different things, for politics, for love, right? Right. I think women sell more who they are for love than men do. I do. You know, because women want that life. They willing to compromise some things to get next to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But men ain't off the hook because, like I say, men contradict themselves all the time. But at the same time, judging the women who are able to make money off of their bodies or off of their sexuality, and then we are the ones consuming the content. We're the ones taking it in. We're the ones facilitating it. Because if we averted our eyes, if we turned our attention away from them, they couldn't make money off of it, right? Then if we say, oh, because I know there's people watching this video, you're defending these bitches, that's why you got your panda bear hat on. No, I'm not defending anything. I'm looking at society as a whole. I'm stepping outside myself and I'm seeing the contradictions that's within me. There are women that I've literally
busted nuts too.
And I'm not trying to be too graphic. They have gotten online later and like,
you know, I really didn't like doing those videos back then.
And when there's a part of me that feel compelled after seeing a video of them actually open up, and I'm like, yeah, well, I gotta go beat off to that video. There's something wrong with me.
Let me go check out that video one last time to see.
There's an aspect of me that is tainted and that have allowed this content and this lust and this environment to shape me, all right? But yet at the same time, I'll get on here and I'll use my platform and I'll espouse my opinion about how I don't think that it's good to sell that to young ladies. I don't think it's good to sell to young ladies that the one thing you want to do is use your beauty in order to have some man take care of you, because essentially what you're doing is you're not just selling your soul, you're literally becoming some man's slave. You understand? And whether he wants you to move left or right, you would have to do it if you give your whole autonomy to some man. I still don't think that that's right. But at the same time, I have judged it. But how can I judge it? But at the same time, I constantly make these videos about, the job market, AI is taking everything. You know, like I have to really step back and like look at it. There's a whole community of content creators on these platforms to make a lot of money judging women, okay? And judging the environment around those women, but at the same time, they use those women to get rich in a roundabout way, right? But they do, right? So, because if those women all of a sudden became virtuous, if those women all of a sudden stopped selling pussy, if those women all of a sudden stopped getting on here making dumbass, crazy videos and promoting this hedonistic Jezebel lifestyle, then those men will stop making money. I'm talking about YouTubers. I'm not even talking about pimps and producers. I'm talking about just regular YouTubers, content creators that every video that they make, their whole cycle, their whole career is just about judging that lifestyle, but they benefit from that lifestyle. You have to step back and literally look at like what's going on, right? Because I'm like, look at this as a career for me. At the same time, as a creative outlet, it is the same time a career. But when you look at it from a career aspect, you look at the metrics, because they're constantly feeding you metrics about what works and what doesn't. And it's very easy to fall into a category of just being vapid and repeating the same things over and over and over and over and selling it to your audience, because at the end of the day, that's what people like. Familiarity. They like something that they can predict. That's why when they always tell you niche down, talk about the same thing. But sometimes you talk about the same thing, especially when it's on a societal level, and all you're doing is repeating yourself without like actually looking at the whole picture. You're more so contributing to the problem than you are helping to solve it. So, like for instance, the reason I bring up the adult industry and the content industry, content creation, especially that comes from women, and how much money they make and all of those stuff, because like I say, it is a circular industry. The women, maybe they can't find love, or maybe they can't find the job they want, so they start selling pussy. They start selling pussy online. Men start consuming the content. Same men who feel like they don't have access to the pussy, they can't meet the women who are out there who feel like, it's like this circular thing. The men pay for it, right? Then they get on here, they judge the women for it. Then it comes back, the women sell it, and then it's like this circular fucking thing. It's ridiculous. At the same time, we're not looking at the overall problem that we've been conditioned to search for freedom in dollars. There is no freedom in money. There's just money is just a means to an end. Whatever that end is, if you don't have a whatever that end is, if you don't have a focus, it can be off a fucking cliff. Oh, I just want money to have money. Then all of a sudden you have all this money coming in, and all of a sudden you realize that you didn't sold so much of your soul that there's nothing fucking left. That's why you see so many of these content creators breaking down, or I'm so burnt out, or I done lost myself, or they're so different. Oh, they got cloned. They didn't get cloned. They lost themselves at some point chasing numbers, chasing the bag. And when everybody's in your ear telling you, oh, you're successful, you're making all this money, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you forgot why you started out on the journey that you started out, you forgot the focus, it leads you off the cliff. Look at somebody like Kai tonight, completely different now, completely out there. I don't know that young man, I don't know anything like that, but I can tell you that as a content creator, he got to a point that he wanted to top himself and top himself and top himself and top himself, and it got to the point that you lose yourself. It is what it is, because you've sold so much of yourself to industry, to your fans, to the devil, right? In a way, you know what I'm saying? Because money at the end of the day is the root of evil, right? And like money itself ain't evil, but the way people utilize it and the way people fight over it, the way people fuck each other over it, you lose yourself in it. I feel like this reality is about trying to retain as much of your soul as you can before you get up out this bitch. And if you can, try to hold on to it. Try to hold on to it. And I'm going to try my best not to be as judgmental, as long as it's not hurt nobody, right? Like, directly, as long as nobody's not being exploited directly. If people want to sell pussy, if people want to get on there and show their ass and all this other stuff, I don't give a fuck. I don't care, right? But just be careful how you doing that. You know what I'm saying? Be careful the message you spread. The message of telling these ladies, oh, it's okay to just sell pussy. It's a dangerous message, because you got to tell them also the pitfalls that come with that. Oh, become demure and just this pretty doll for this rich man, but you also got to tell them that there's something that comes along with that. You're selling a piece of yourself. Same thing with men. You can't always just sell yourself to industry or to money just because there's a dollar amount there, and then you forget who you are. And this goes for a lot of things too. There's men that, oh, I'm going to go and work for this company, or I'm going to go and work for the military. I'm going to go and do things against my principle and what I believe in, because there's a check and there's a good life at the end of it, and then complain at the end of the road that the world is so fucked up when I contributed so much to it being fucked up, right? You know, right? I contributed to it. Us men, a lot of us, we contributed to this sex industry. We do. It would not exist if it were not men constantly consuming that shit. All right? So this video had a lot of messages, okay? About selling your soul, selling your butt, all this, contradictions we have, but I see this constantly, and it's such a deep thing, and it's such a deep conversation to have, right? Because a fun fact for y'all, none of the elite, none of our U.S. presidents sent their kids to public school. None of them went through the same system that we went through. None of them goes through K through 12 to get indoctrinated to be workers and to chase the bag. No, they look at the world a lot differently than you do. Look it up. No, none of these presidents have ever sent their kids to school, because these presidents are plucked from where they, because people say, I've had people in my comments say, oh, you since you didn't vote, you helped get Trump in it. But you really think we have any control over this? No, these people are made to be who they are. It ain't you, it ain't I. We go through their system. We go through the systems that they design us. We send our kids through the systems that they design for us. We take in the history that they freaking teach us, but that ain't what they putting on their kids. They ain't. Just like they'll send us to war, they don't send their kids to war. They'll send our kids to war, they won't send their kids to war. Same principle, same freaking ideology when it comes to the elite. But what we take that in, and what do we constantly taught in school? Well, what are you going to be? What are you going to be? What do people do? What's the first thing they ask you when they ask anything about you here in the Western world? What do you do? Why do you think they ask you that? They ask you that to judge your character. They don't give a fuck about if you can kill, a village full of people in Nam, or whatever the case may be. What do you do as a job? And depending on your title, it's depending on the respect level they'll give you, because they've been indoctrinated to believe they tie that monetary value to a number, and then automatically means respect. If I tell you right now, I'm making $500,000 a year as opposed to maybe the $32,000 or $42,000 a year I make, the respect level goes completely up. I tell you how much I really make, y'all like, I ain't listening to this fool. I tell you I'm making all this fucking money, and all of a sudden I can give you advice on fucking cooking, and I don't cook shit. You see what I'm saying? I can give you advice on fucking, and I don't fuck a goddamn thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can give you all this advice on things I don't do, only because of the perceived number value tied behind my name. If you looked up my net worth said, oh, Jeremy's worth fucking $10.5 million. All of a sudden, the respect level just shoots up. That's conditioning. That is indoctrination. Because you tie me having that much money to me being free. And to be honest with you, whether I had that much money in my account or the fucking $60 that I got in my account right now, I would be the same motherfucker. I would still have the same issues. Man, my teeth would be fixed. My teeth would be fan-fucking-tastic. That's the one thing, right? But other than that, I would probably be dealing with the same stuff spiritually. Probably be dealing with the same stuff in my soul, the same struggles that I have. You know, rich people have issues too. Rich people struggle with weight. Rich people struggle with insecurity issues. Rich people struggle like I say, dealing with this world. They commit too. Like I've said, everybody struggles because we're human beings. No amount of money is going to completely buy your freedom out of this matrix. It's just, how can you participate in it and still feel some level of freedom? And that doesn't require you paying a goddamn thing. Find a hobby that doesn't cost you no money. Find something, or maybe even a cheap hobby that costs you some money, that can occupy your mind and take you away from everything that's going on in this world. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, happy 420. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was straight from the dome with some things that I wanted to talk about. I know I kind of was all over the place with a couple things, but I feel like certain things needed to be said. I brought up a lot of these adult models because a lot of them are coming out now talking about some of their experiences in the industry, and it just got me thinking about, you know, like, well, y'all did it, and a lot of them are not playing victim. That's not what they're doing. They're just giving us, the audience, you know, what that really looks like. And yes, I'm glad that they're doing that, because it's telling the younger generation that this ain't what it is. And that's for both men and women. It sounds like that industry has been a nightmare for both men and women, both physically and spiritually, and yet that's what's being sold on the youth. These young ladies are coming up out of school, 18, 19, going right to OnlyFans. And I know they're just doing the shit in their bedroom, but that leads to other stuff like I was saying earlier. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.